Thanks for stopping by my channel again. Now, I've had a lot of requests for different types of videos to upload and everything. I've been in school, so I've been working, so I haven't had that much time. But there is one time a year where I really like to get out and spend a few days out in the wilderness, and that's turkey season. Here in southern Ontario, it's late April to throughout May, so there's a lot of wild edibles this time of year, and I'd like to go over some of the wild edibles, and just maybe I'll end up getting a turkey. Footage for this video is going to be taken over the course of 2, possibly 3 days, just to ensure I get the quality of footage that I want. If I could do it in one day, great, but chances are it's going to 3 days of hunting. I'll compile it into a video just so that I can give you the best possible learning experience. Earlier this morning, I heard a ton of gobbling just on the other side of this swamp out here in front of me. I've got set up right here. I've got my 2 decoys out, and I'm going to do a bit of calling. Hopefully I'll have something come in. I'll try and get it on film. I'll try to get the shot on film, but it's kind of hard to handle a camera and a gun at the same time while hunting turkey. So I'll do what I can. Just a quick idea of what I've been using out here. Here's one of my various decoys. I've got a bag here with some decoys in it. I don't use them all at once. I've been using my Ithaca Featherlight. It's a wonderful gun. It's a pump, but 2 3/4. Love the gun. Very nice gun. I always have a sling on all of my guns. It gives me a hands-free option. I've got the Jake House blind, which I'll show you in a bit. And I've been using Kent Diamond Shot 2 3/4 load. I love them. I've never missed a bird with them yet, and hopefully this season the birds will show up. Okay, so like I said I would, I'd give you a quick demonstration of the blind I've been using. This here's the Jake House blind. It detaches to your side just like this. Comes in a little case. You can walk with it attached to your belt or throw it in your backpack. Here it is. So, unfolding it and setting it up, simple as just letting it go. Pop, pop. And you got yourself a blind set up. You can just sit it on the ground, put a couple sticks in it or whatever. It comes with its own pegs. Now when it's time to pack up and go, now it's important that you grab one hand up here. You have one hand up here and one hand down here, and you give it a twist. Lightweight and portable. About 8 o'clock now. We've
reality of turkey hunting is that there are some days that all the calls and decoys in your inventory won't get you a bird, as there is just no guarantee, and often it may take many outings before you get your bird. The bright side to this, though, is that this is a great time of year to just sit back and watch nature take its course and just enjoy the outdoors.
I've been out here for a while and I haven't found so much as a turkey track or a piece of scat or nothing. Now, the property that I'm hunting on, the farmer who gave me permission to hunt here, told me that he was seeing them all spring. In early April, before the season opened, they'd fly down under their roofs and come walking out in the field and everything. Funny, with my luck, I can't even find one sign of them. But that's just how hunting goes sometimes. You get them or you don't. My partner just took a shot. Ray with me said he's got a coyote, so I figure I'll go down there and take a look, see what he got. I'm just going over to check where my partner is because apparently he shot a big coyote. So I'm gonna go take a look. So let's go see this coyote. Oh, there it is. The coyote he shot. Not a turkey though. Ugh. Size of the teeth on this thing. Massive. As wide as my gun barrel. Coming to take your decoy.
Fucking cocksucker, right?
Wow.
That shot, fuck, I tried for the front shoulder.
Okay, well I've been hunting for a little while now. I'm gonna go take a walk and see if I can find some wild edibles. If you want to take a look at my setup here, I moved down to a little valley, a nice opening. My decoy out there, a bunch of squirrels running around. So turkeys ain't moving around right now. It's about 11 o'clock in the morning. So I'm gonna take you on a walk and let's go look for some wild edibles. Just put my gun down for a minute. Wanted to show you something. All these guys right here. These are all mayapple. You can see it's got a little bud in the middle and two leaves. The leaves kind of look like this. Is there any that are flowering? Ah, perfect. Here we go. That bud turns into this flower. Now that flower will eventually turn into a little apple. Now you can't eat any of this plant. You can't even eat the apple because it turns green first. But when it turns yellow, then you can actually eat it. The apple becomes edible when it turns yellow. Though you'll be in competition with all the squirrels and chipmunks and everything because everything likes them. So you'll be lucky to find any that are ripe. I've tried taking them home and letting them ripen on the counter. It didn't really work out for me. But if you can find them ripe on the plant, you can pick them and eat them. This here is what will be, well, it is false Sullivan seal, and this will get a little pack of red berries on the end of it. You can eat the red berries, but they won't be ready till, oh geez, September or so. Not quite ready yet. This is a pretty easy one. Dandelion. Most people already know that they are edible, but for those that don't, the leaves are edible. I find they're very astringent. I don't really think they taste that good, but I guess if it was an emergency, they could be used as food. I know some people put them in their salads. You know what a dandelion is. Got the big yellow flower on it when it's blooming, but they are another piece that's available this time of year. This here is a nice example of a trillium, Ontario's national flower. Not allowed to pick them. On a helpful note, the tuber is edible, but like I said, not allowed to pick them. Beautiful flower though. Well, I've been out walking here. It's getting kind of hot now. But I found all this wild strawberry. The little white flowers and the serrated leaves. It's no good yet, but you can see little buds on it starting to appear. Those will be little strawberries. Come July, they'll all be edible. Remember this spot. There's quite a few of them here. Wild strawberry. Okay, I've been looking for these. This is fiddlehead fern, ostrich fern. These are good and edible. See the little tiny unfurled leaves. Well, they're not unfurled yet, but they're getting there. These ones here are being unfurled. These are actually really good for eating. Just unlike you might see sometimes where people will eat them raw, you don't want to eat them raw. They have been linked to gastrointestinal illness, so make sure you boil them for about 10-15 minutes at least, and then they're good to go for eating. But you see there's quite a few around here. Kind of hard to mistake with other ferns, but you know, these are one of the edible ones. Right there, that's what you want. Still, take a couple of these home. There's some garlic mustard starting to flower here. This is edible. I find that it's rather astringent. It's very invasive. It's not native to Canada. It's come over from Europe, and once it establishes itself, it just creates an entire monoculture. I believe they are a biennial, but I mean, once they take over, they take over. So this is what I mean about how garlic mustard can just move in because it's so invasive, and it can just create a monoculture. Look, I have a path here to walk, but you can really see how it just takes over everything. There's no room for anything else to grow here. And this will eventually fumigate the soil. I wanted to show you guys this. This is a perfect example of trout lily. You can see that purplish pattern on the leaves. This here is edible. The leaves have a very sweet taste to them. I quite like them. The tuber is edible. Mind you, if you pull the tuber, you'll kill the plant. But these leaves are great, almost a salad-like texture to them. It's real nice. So yeah, another safe edible, and they're very abundant this time of year. Now this is interesting. This is burdock. Now this is a biennial plant. It's some people call it wild rhubarb or whatever, but it's burdock. I find that the root is not that bad. The root is edible. You get them when they're small like this, and they're still in their rosette form, rather than the large forms. Another wild edible this time of year. Burdock. Some people wrap their meat into leaves as well. Use it for smoker, but personally, I just would go with the root. While I've been walking, you can see, look at some of these limbs here. I'm not sure if you can see that. If I can maybe get it in the light for you. That's black knot. It starts to appear on a lot of the limbs. It kind of looks like dog crap on the limb, but it's an ongoing problem. There's some over there. A lot of the trees around here have been getting it. This one's really young to have gotten it. Now this is interesting. You find these in Southern Ontario this time of year. This here, Jack in the Pulpit. You can know what it is because you lift it up. They're very unique, hard to misidentify. The plant itself is poisonous, but it has a bulb, kind of like a tulip, and that can be eaten, but you have to take it, slice it up real thin like a potato chip, and dry it out completely. It takes a while to dry too, but if you do that with it, then you can eat it. I don't think you can eat it raw though. I wouldn't recommend it. Okay, so coming along here, I have found something really interesting. This here is wild leek. Oh yeah. Yeah, you can really smell it. Now, this stuff is great. It's a good wild edible. It's a bit late in the season for these guys, but you can tell. Here, pull one up. See that pink stem on it? You can really smell the garlicky smell to it. Wild leek ramp, some people call it. It's a good wild edible. Nick from Whitetail Bushcraft on YouTube here, he's got a really good channel. You should check him out because he does quite a bit of work with the ramps. He's got a pesto and a few other things that he does. You should check that out. But yeah, another good wild edible to find. I have another spot which I can show you where I get lots of them, but this is a nice little patch here mixed in with the trout lilies. You can see here, that's the beginning of jewelweed. Now jewelweed is known to counteract the effects of poison ivy. Luckily I haven't seen any poison ivy out here, but you just take that, rub it on your skin wherever you got the ivy on you, and it supposedly reduces the amount of irritation. One little bit of advice that I'll give you that I really like to do is you find an area like this. As you can see, there's a creek running through here. Just walk along it for a little bit. You know, at this time of day the birds are moving around. A lot of them are in the hardwoods and everything. And if you're planning on moving like I'm doing, then if you see a creek like this, walk the creek bed. Take a look for any kind of tracks or any kind of movement. If there's an area where they've been crossing, you can, or if they've been concentrating their traffic, you can kind of zone in on it. See which way they're going. See how fresh the tracks are. If I find any tracks, I'll get it on camera. There's coyote tracks, right by these deer tracks. And it looks like that's an old turkey track. It's hard to tell. See if I can find anything newer and clearer. Oh yeah, there's one that's real. That's a turkey track there. There's another one. These are really fresh tracks. They've just come this way a while ago. This is a good sign to look for if you're out looking for birds. Some turkey scat. I'm not far from it. This right here. Oh, where'd it go? There it is. Turkey feather. So it looks to me like they've been roosting up in these pines here somewhere. And you don't want to set up right under their roost. You want to go about 100 yards from their roost and sit and wait in the morning time. Alright, this is kind of what I'm talking about here. You see the deer have been crossing here. You see the tracks? And concentrating a lot of their traffic right in behind this log here. Right there. Turkeys do the same thing. It's because it's a shallow spot in the creek. They like the shallower water, a little easier. Just I gotta find where the turkeys are crossing. Grows on hardwood. You'll usually find it in the spring. Sometimes you'll even find it in the fall. It is edible. It goes by the name dryad saddle, pheasant back. The small ones, you can see I cut a little piece off there, but the small ones, they can be eaten raw or you can fry them up. So, yeah, another wild edible for this time of year. Really nice, real nice texture to it. A lot of meat on them too. Look at that, you find them on any hardwood. This is a dead trunk. It's all bored out. Everything is just no good. It's hardwood. And this is the kind of trunk you would want to stop and look for dryad saddle. Something like this is perfect, although there's none on here. Okay, so it's only a matter of time. A perfect example of a morel mushroom. These are the golden ones, not the little brown ones. You can see I've picked a couple here. These, if you look in, you can see that they're hollow inside. Another wild edible this time of year. Find them. There's usually a few more around them. I've seen these three, and I think there's one more down right over there. But yeah, another beautiful springtime wild edible. Good for the turkey hunt. It's mid-May, and they're coming up here in southern Ontario right now. Wonderful wild edible. watching a bunch of turkeys out in that field over there earlier today, and they come right up on me. Those 3 hens came, oh geez, about 10 feet from me. Can't shoot hens right for the spring hunt, in the fall hunt, but not in spring. So I let them go by, but the tom wouldn't come out for me today. So I'm just so hot right now. I just took off my gear and I'm just cooling down for a bit, and I'll put it back on and probably go sit somewhere else. These are the pines that the birds have been roosting in. You can see it's look here, if you can see it, long slender needles, groups of 5. This here is a white pine, Pinus strobus, eastern white pine, and I find the turkeys really like to just hang around them and sit in them. So you see that hill up top there. I'm gonna go up around that hill and sit out in the cornfield up against the side of the bank there. Maybe something in the evening will come flying in towards these trees, come back to roost. We'll see. Signs to look for under a pine like this is look for turkey scat. Look for, oh, look at this. What's that? More feathers. More feathers on the ground. So they've been roosting here, it's no doubt. There's scat all over there, there's some more feathers. So it's just a matter of sitting and waiting them out sometimes. So I was showing you the white pines earlier. Now I've set up underneath an Austrian pine here, Pinus nigra. Now you can tell it's an Austrian pine. For one, it's got long needles, 2 prongs, and the telltale sign, which differs this from a red pine, is when you bend it, it doesn't snap. You have to pull it and you feel the fibers in there. Red pine just snaps once you bend it. Sitting under these Austrian pines, which I just showed you, found this field horsetail, Equestrium arvens, and these here are a big problem to a lot of farmers. They get in the crops, they spread by rhizomes. They're a lower vascular plant, and believe it or not, in ancient times these used to grow the size of trees, if you can believe it. Nowadays you see them maybe about a foot and a half. It's another tip for turkey hunting I want to show you. I found this old pond here, and it's got a lot of sand and stuff in it. Now the main thing I wanted to show you about this is, look at this. That there's a scrape, a turkey scrape. You can see the marks in it and stuff. Come midday they like to roll themselves in the sand, and they've got the water right there. So that's why I've set up in this stand of Austrian pines. They like to come out here in the middle of the day and do this kind of stuff. You can kind of see what's left of their footprints and stuff there. So I'm going to set up close to this, and hopefully they'll be back again out here to bathe themselves in some sand. There's another one over there. So you see these are good signs to stick around. Look at this thing. It's a little baby great horned owl. Not scared at all, just sitting there watching. Alright. That's cool. Here's something you're going to want to watch out for out here. See him walking. See that this is a real heavy deer trail, and it goes up that way, and that way. The deers have been using this trail to go back and forth along the creek, and usually I find that turkeys like to do the same thing. We'll see if I can find some turkey tracks along this trail as well. Right there, eastern tent caterpillar. They're the ones that make all those big long webs in the trees. You see them. They start working now and they go straight through the summer. Looks like Coyote has got to this deer carcass. Coyote's been taking a bigger bite out of whitetail populations than we ever thought. These raspberry canes here. Come July, they'll be producing some nice raspberries. Black caps, one of the two. Same thing anyway. Oh, this here is one more medicinal plant. This is yarrow. Now I know back in the old days people used to dry this stuff out and make a concoction out of it. It actually acts like a makeshift stomach pump. It'll make you throw up. If in case you've eaten something that's not quite right with you, dry this out and have a little bit.
Okay, so I was coming into the field this morning, saw two birds out there and they took off. They seen me and took off. So what happens in a situation like this is move back in just from the field. I'm sitting right behind this white pine here, and you know, just do a few soft calls, you know, some yelps, some clucks, and maybe they'll come back. It's happened before to me, so we'll see if it happens this time.
Okay, so this is a spot where I'm going to set up. I didn't bring my blind today. I'll watch the edge of the field and watch the field. Use natural cover to your advantage if you don't bring a blind. This seems like a nice little spot for me. In case you didn't notice, those two hens happened to see me. I reached for the camera, they saw me move, and they screwed off. And it just goes to show you how still you gotta be when you're turkey hunting. Those little beady eyes of theirs see everything. Well, I've been out here for quite a while now, and there's one thing I wanted to take a chance to show you. Now I'm just gonna reach in my bag here and grab what I've got. And I just want to show you some of the calls I've been using. As you can see, this is my box call. I like to put a little camo tape on it. And I find that this one here is my go-to call. I like to use this for most situations. It really carries the sound way out into the woods. You can get a good distance with this thing. Now, the next call I like to use is the gobble call. This call here I find really seems to get, you know, them to gobble real good first thing in the morning. I don't like to use it past 8, 9, 10 in the morning, you know. After that, I like to just stick with the box call and my other one. I do have a mouth call. I've left that at home, but I'll show you how this goes. Well, it's getting a little worn on in the season, but it goes something like that. Now, the last call that I like to use, this is my travel call because it's nice and quiet. It doesn't quite carry the sound as far as the box call does, but it does a pretty good job. And this here is my pump call. Turn it, and I'll show you. It just goes a little something like that. You can practice and get it to your specifications and get it right for you. But
just wanted to give you a quick overview of some of the calls I like to use.
Okay, a piece of advice I'm going to give you that most turkey hunters who've been doing it for a while will have already gone through. When it starts getting hot like this, like today it's supposed to get up to 30. We're dressing layers, you know, and when you're dressing in layers, wear camo through and through so that you can take off the layers, put them away, and, you know, dress down a bit. You don't want to be sweating and moving around because you're too hot in your spot. So, you know, camo through and through, remember that. Okay, so, you know, I've had some birds out in the field today. They've been moving around pretty good, either too far or just hens. But, you know, I'm going to try and get out one more time just to see if I can get my, you know, Jake or Tom. You know, it's only a matter of time before the one comes in close enough and it's the type that I want, so.
It just looks like a little bearded hen. Some hens have beards on them, but you gotta make sure you don't shoot those ones. Okay, well, it's morning day 3. I got out here a little bit late, but I'm set up and I'm gonna go, you can see this is some new corn that they planted, and I'm gonna go and I'm gonna set up down where the old cornfield is down the way, and maybe I'll get my bird today. Alright, well, I've got my bird, I've got my footage, and you know, it's taken 3 hunts over the course of 2 weeks to actually get all the footage in, and I'm happy. You know, it's very satisfying to have this finally done. You know, but right, like I said, before I head out of here with my bird, I just want to take this moment to thank anyone who's been viewing my videos. I definitely want to thank my subscribers. Without you guys, there's no point in me being out here doing this. And you know, I just really hoped you learned something from this. It's not meant to be an exact how-to on how to hunt turkey, because everybody does things their own way. But as long as you've taken something from this and learned a little bit either about edibles or turkey hunting, then my job is done. So thank you, subscribers, and hopefully I'll be seeing you guys again, possibly in the fall.